Canada just lost 100,000 jobs in 3 weeks. Factories shut, teens can't find work, and small businesses are collapsing. Prime Minister Carney is furious. The economy is reeling, and Trump is watching. What's really happening, and can Canada survive this overnight implosion? Watch closely. Chapter 1. 100,000 jobs gone in 3 weeks. 100,000 jobs gone. Not in a year, not even over a few months, in just 3 weeks. Economists are calling this a shockwave. Outside of a major crisis, you rarely see job losses pile up this fast. These aren't temporary gigs or seasonal work. These are full-time paychecks that families depend on. People are waking up to find the job they counted on in manufacturing, construction, or exports simply doesn't exist anymore. The July jobs report confirmed it. Instead of gains, Canada lost more than 40,000 positions in a single month. Zoom out, and that's over 100,000 jobs lost since the boycott began. That's a free fall normally tied to a recession, not normal business activity. Which sectors collapsed first? Manufacturing led the way. Plants slowed production, orders dried up, and shifts were cut. Construction sites went quiet. Recreational and cultural industries also pulled back. Provinces like Alberta and Ontario are feeling the sharpest pain. Chapter 2. Youth in Crisis. If any group is being hit hardest, it's young Canadians. Youth unemployment has surged to 14%, levels normally only seen during a recession. Teenagers are even worse off. Nearly 1 in 5 who want a job can't find one. High school students who counted on part-time retail or restaurant work to save for school are sending resumes that go nowhere. College graduates finish their degrees and head back home because companies have frozen hiring. And the usual safety nets? They're gone. Retail, once the go-to entry point for youth, now accounts for less than a quarter of youth jobs. Gig economy platforms often lock out teenagers entirely. That leaves young people with fewer options and mounting frustration. On top of that, living costs are surging. Rent and food inflation are outpacing general CPI increases. Young people trying to pay tuition or save money are being squeezed from both sides. No jobs and rising costs. It's more than numbers, it's real life. Students are staying home, dreams of independence delayed. Families are stretching every dollar. Economists have a term for this, a youth session, and that's exactly what's unfolding in Canada today. Chapter 3. The Trade War Gamble. How did things unravel this quickly? It all comes back to gambling by Ottawa. Prime Minister Mark Carney and his cabinet rolled out a tariff boycott in response to Trump's trade pressure. On paper, it was framed as a strength, a refusal to bend, a show of sovereignty. Carney told Canadians it was about standing tall, about sending a message that the country wouldn't be pushed around. But in practice, the boycott was built on shaky ground from day one. Canada's economy is deeply tied to American markets. Auto parts, steel, agriculture, and energy. They all depend on steady cross-border trade. When Ottawa dug in and refused to compromise, those sectors were the first to take the hit. Costs shot up, export orders slowed, and companies had no choice but to cut back. Large corporations could move production around or absorb some of the losses. But for small and mid-sized businesses, there was no cushion. They either passed higher prices onto consumers or started laying people off. And for many, it wasn't even a choice. They shut their doors entirely. The result? What started as a symbolic show of strength has turned into a wave of layoffs, closures, and lost confidence. And while Carney says Canada can ride this out, the numbers tell a different story. Chapter 4. Collapsing Industries. Where is the damage hitting hardest? Manufacturing is hemorrhaging jobs. Steel and aluminum, once pillars of Canadian exports, are at risk as tariffs choke U.S. demand. Construction projects, meant to keep tradespeople busy through summer, are paused or canceled. Agriculture isn't safe either. Farmers relying on U.S. buyers are losing markets. For a country so dependent on cross-border trade, the ripple effects are massive. Costs rise, contracts vanish, and uncertainty grows. Retail and service sectors, along with the safety net for youth and part-time workers, are shrinking as well. Stores cut staff or close, and restaurants are folding under rising costs and fewer customers. Even sectors like culture and recreation, where summer work often starts for students, are reducing hours or eliminating positions. This isn't a seasonal slowdown. Multiple industries collapsing at once are a sign of a broader downturn, touching every corner of Canada's economy. And the impact isn't just economic, it's social. Communities, towns, and families feel the pressure when jobs vanish in such numbers. Chapter 5. Small businesses on the edge. If large industries are bleeding, small businesses are suffocating. Entrepreneurs, family-run shops, and startups, the backbone of local economies, are the most vulnerable. Canada already faced challenges here. There are 100,000 fewer entrepreneurs today than 20 years ago, even with population growth. That's a warning for long-term economic growth. The trade war worsened matters. Tariffs drove up costs and disrupted supply chains. Big corporations may absorb some pressure, but small businesses cut workers or close. Every closure isn't just a statistic, it's dozens of families losing income overnight. Meanwhile, the public sector keeps growing. Since 2019, government payrolls have been up nearly 25%, while private sector jobs only grew by about 10%. That imbalance tells a lot. The private sector, which drives innovation and entrepreneurship, is being crushed. For small businesses, this standoff isn't just painful, it's existential. Without change, Canada risks losing another generation of entrepreneurs, and with them, the future of its economy. Communities lose local jobs, families lose stability, and the next wave of innovation may never happen. Chapter 6. Political fallout for Carney. Prime Minister Carney has been trying to reassure Canadians that the economy is resilient, but the reality on the ground paints a very different picture. Job losses are mounting, industries are slowing, and yet Ottawa keeps insisting everything is under control. Premiers across the provinces are sounding the alarm. They're warning that the tariff boycott is hurting local businesses, stalling growth, and threatening communities. Business leaders aren't staying quiet either. CEOs and entrepreneurs are frustrated, saying they feel abandoned while facing skyrocketing costs, supply chain disruptions, and shrinking markets. Carney's reassurances are starting to sound hollow. When elected officials and business leaders openly criticize federal policy, it's not just political noise, it's a sign that confidence is eroding fast. And in an economy already reeling, lost confidence translates directly into fewer investments, slower hiring, and more layoffs. Every week that passes without decisive action, the pressure on Carney grows. Politically, this isn't just a misstep, it's a potential crisis that could define his tenure. Chapter 7. Trump's leverage. While Canada struggles, the US seems to be coming out ahead. Here's why. The American economy is larger, more diversified, and better positioned to absorb shocks like tariffs and trade standoffs. Industries that might crumble in Canada can withstand the pressure in the US, giving them a huge advantage. Trump's strategy has been clear from the start. He knows where the leverage lies. Canada depends heavily on cross-border trade, from auto parts to agriculture to energy exports. The US, far less reliant. This means Canada is forced into a defensive position, while the US can turn the screws without immediate consequences. And the scoreboard is already showing it. While Canada's industries shrink and jobs vanish, Trump can point to strength, framing himself as the winner in this standoff. That political and economic advantage reinforces his position, while Carney's credibility weakens by the day. This isn't just about trade, it's about influence, strategy, and who can endure pressure the longest. Right now, Canada is losing. Chapter 8. The human cost. Behind all politics and numbers, there's a real human toll. Families are struggling with rising inflation and lost income. Every paycheck that disappears translates into unpaid rent, groceries skipped, and bills piling up. It's not abstract, it's tangible, daily stress that Canadians feel in every corner of the country. Students are being hit hard too. Many are forced back home, unable to find summer jobs or entry-level positions. Savings are drained faster than expected, and dreams of independence, travel, or higher education are delayed indefinitely. For young adults, this means a generation facing setbacks they shouldn't have to endure. For families, it's the frustration of trying to stretch every dollar while watching opportunities vanish. And for the economy, it's a slow drain of talent, ambition, and confidence. This is why economists are sounding alarms. Youth unemployment, shrinking industries, and struggling small businesses aren't just statistics. They're early warning signs that Canada could face broader economic turbulence if action isn't taken soon. It's clear that Canada is facing one of its toughest economic challenges in decades, and the impact on jobs, youth, and small businesses is only starting to show. So, what do you think? Can Canada recover from this massive job loss, or is this just the beginning of a deeper crisis? Drop your thoughts into the comments. And if you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more updates and analysis on the economy, politics, and the stories that affect your everyday life.